Hello guys, it's Chummaster here doing another Bottleman unboxing. This time we have Spritening G. So I did finally get this guy. This is going to be an interesting unboxing. I'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, here's the front. There you go. It might, if you don't really know much about this guy, you might see some similarities to a previous Bottleman. I'll come back to that in a second here. On the back, you could see, at first, it looks kind of exciting. Notably this part down here, it's kind of hard to see, but if you notice that, made in Vietnam. Now, I was very excited when I first saw it. I thought, oh, are they actually fixing the problems with Bottleman? Because Godcat, basically they switched from the Vietnamese factory to the Chinese factory. Quality control got way worse when they did that, and when I saw it, I'm like, oh great, did they finally switch back? Are we going to get to, have some good Godcap stuff? But unfortunately, no. A lot of these parts here are DX parts. Magazine, barrel, and all of the armor set is just CC Lan, which is unfortunate. CC Lan DX. Oxford magazine, long barrel, but anyway. All of those are from Vietnam. They're just recolored DX parts that were from Vietnam. But the Godcap stuff, the cap and the core, the most important things that are affected by this, they are from the Chinese factory. So they left the DX stuff as is, but the Godcap stuff also is left as is, so they made this Bottleman into two separate factories. I can't make this up. That was very stupid, but anyway. I guess it's better than getting it all in the Chinese factory, but still, it's just like, why? Anyway. So yeah, this is just a reused Bottleman. Nothing here is new. Everything here is reused, and because of that, this video is going to be a little bit awkward, so let me go ahead and open this up and show you guys all the parts, but after that I'll explain why this video is going to be kind of awkward, but anyway. So you can see here, that is the core. We got, it looks like maybe that's the barrel there, maybe the barrel and magazine actually. We got the instructions and stickers. Doesn't look like a lot of stickers. Nice. That'll be nicer to build for me. And then we got the caps, trigger, hold parts, and looks like the body there. And I think that is going to be everything in the box. Yep. All right. So I'll go ahead and get this built and stickered up, test it out, but it'll be a bit of an awkward one because there isn't as much to go over for the review portion of this video. That'll be a bit shorter, but I do have to kind of rant about Takatomi afterwards. That'll be what kind of adds to the runtime of this video. But anyways, go ahead and figure this thing out, and I'll come back with the thing all built, stickered up, tested, and whatever else I need to do before we get back to that. Alright, I'm back. Have everything built and stickered up. It only took me like 20 minutes to do, which is very fast, but anyway. I did some testing and stuff for a while after, and I'm going to just, like I said, I'm going to talk about the Bottleman itself. Not going to get too into the context here. So anyway, just the Bottleman, it looks pretty nice. I do like how it looks. I like green a lot, so if you like green, you'll probably like this thing. I'm a big fan of green, especially this kind of green. I like kind of the darker green, and you got like the translucent green going on. It's pretty nice. So yeah, very, very cool looking Bottleman. Also this glow-in-the-dark cap. Can't really show off the glow-in-the-dark effect too well, unfortunately, but it does glow in the dark. There were the laser caps from the prototype system they released in October 2021. Meant to be the same day as the Sapphire Blast Boss set, but that's like got delayed by 2 weeks, so they just kind of released on their own in October, but anyway. And here's kind of the Godcat versions, nothing on the top here, just a blank glow-in-the-dark cap, so there you go. Yeah, anyway. So, I guess just how good is this thing? It is... It's okay. I don't really think it's all that interesting. You have the multi-type core, which is cool. I mean, you got the barrel port, the magazine port, power type hold parts. I'd say it's a better purchase than Kokuryo G, just for the core, at least. I mean, Kokuryo G has some other stuff, but like, just for a core, yeah. It's a multi-type core, that does everything. That's nice. However, I still think that the Aerosider, the red Aerosider DX core, the drive core, the magazine port is better. Yes, there's some barrel ports, but who really cares? You have a magazine port and a drive strip with the DX style. It was much, much better. I would take that over this, personally. The armor itself here, it's the CC Land DX armor. It's cool. I mean, you have like I guess extra stability with it. It's really all it does, honestly. It's fine. I don't have a problem with it. The long barrel, sure, why not? And then the Aqua Sports magazine, same magazine as this guy here, which is unfortunate that they didn't change the mold. Now, I didn't expect them to change the mold here, which is kind of fine, honestly, but man, they just couldn't have chosen a better magazine. You could have just chosen like CC Land's regular magazine. I know it would have made it even more of a CC Land DX3 color, but the magazine is just better, alright? If not, I would have taken the Samet's magazine, the Kokuryuo magazine, or just, why not the long magazine? I think that was like an obvious choice right there. Because this thing has a problem, where when you load the caps in, so we got the one in there, yes, it just comes with the one cap, but then you put a second one in here, okay. Third one, problem, this is likely going to fall out, and I don't like that it does that. And that's my problem with this thing, it just didn't come with a good enough magazine, so, yeah. Also, they did not fix the head issue with, this guy. So, you have, of course, comparing it, I guess, to the other CC Lands really quick, well, before we get into the issue. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Got that. You got CC Excellion DX as well, which I could just throw in. They're different Bottlemen still, technically, but, you know, it's the same armor set. Anyway, let's do a fun little test here with these guys, though. There's a certain head mold, and I've heard that these don't affect... This issue doesn't affect every CC Land, apparently. But it does affect all of mine, so... We have this problem here, where the head comes off a little bit too easily. So does Spritening G have the problem? Yes, it does. Yeah, now it does take like a slight bit of force, I guess, to do that. But here's the thing. I used one finger. I just lifted the thing up and it came off. I didn't grab onto anything. I wasn't holding down and pushing up. I just did that without touching anything else. I used one finger to do that. Like, yeah, okay, it's not gonna just fly off randomly, like it doesn't it's not like the Fusion Black Horn. But the fact that that still happens, and this is our 4th CC Land technically. There was the Koro lottery version, the red one, which I do not have, but that one had the issue, the normal one did. CC Land, or CC Excellion DX had the issue, and now Spritening G has the issue. Unfortunate, like, armor set to use, honestly, because of that issue, but yeah. And they couldn't have at least fixed that problem. Like, that, come on, of all things. Like, you could have, they really could have at least done something about that. Like, it couldn't have been that much of a problem, come on. Like, CC Land DX came out in July of 2022. That was 1 year and 4 months before Spritening G came out. Like, you're telling me that you couldn't have done anything about that? I don't know. It's just kind of a frustrating thing. It's just like, why is this issue still here? Come on. So overall, how's this thing performance-wise? It's good. You have a 2.5 cap capacity. Sometimes the 3rd cap works. Other times it flies out. You have decent stability, well, pretty good stability, actually. You have a barrel that you could use if you want, which is nice. The core, pretty good now, it's because the Aerosider one, but hey, it's still good, you know, I still like it. Yeah, it is just, it's good, but I don't think it's the best, you know, it could have been better, but whatever. And yeah, the head does come off sometimes, but again, usually not the biggest problem, it's just a stupid quality control issue that I wanted to point out. Now, for aesthetics, like I said, it looks nice. If you are a shelf collector, yeah, it looks good. If you like green, you'll really like this thing. The only problem comes from people who might just want to collect the mainline stuff and you don't care about recolors. That's the problem. Does this count as a recolor or a mainline Bottleman? It has its own motif. It is based on Sprite, has its own name, Spritening G. But it's just reused parts. Does it count as something new or not? I couldn't tell you, honestly. That's up to you. So if you want this thing, get it. If not, you could probably get away with it. It's just like a weird fringe mainline Bottleman, to where I don't know whether or not to count it or not. Like, I'm leaning towards no, but at the same time, it does have its own unique motif, so maybe? So, yeah, it just makes collecting a little bit awkward in that regard, so... kind of unfortunate, but overall, as a product, how is it? Well, like I said, it's good, but it still has the God quality control problems, which again makes it worse. And when you have things like Red Arrow cider, I feel like it's just kind of outclassed already. You know, while you do need a magazine for that, I feel like yeah, I'd rather just get that. And it's decent. And again, it's a shelf piece. It's fine, but it's not really an important release. It's just something that I'm like, yeah, you could probably just skip over this one, honestly. At least I think so. So, overall, it's okay. It's a fine enough release as is. I don't hate it, but I don't like it. Without context, anyway. That's where the problems come in. So this guy is just a custom build that was released as an actual Bottleman. For what purpose? I couldn't tell you. Takatomi has just been on this rampage to just give us nothing. They, for some reason, do not want us to have new Bottlemen. They are, I guess, either just really lazy or out of ideas. I'm assuming the former. But they've just not want to give us anything new. It's been a consistent problem for all of Godcap. We've only gotten one of each of the main types. Dragger G is a power type, Samet's G is a speed type, and Deku Tiger G is a control type. That's it. Multi-types, we got Kokuryo G and Cola OG. That's it. 5 actual Bottleman releases. And 4 of those just feel like leftovers from DX. Like Dragger, Samet's, Deku Tiger, Kokuryo. You could tell me all of those are just leftovers from DX. Yeah, the whole Godcap thing, okay, cool. But again, you could just argue it's like a throwaway concept from DX that they decided to make into its own line, and it didn't do a whole lot, but whatever. Cola OG is the only thing that feels crazy to me. And even then, you could technically throw it into DX if you want to. I mean, Dragogena didn't really fit into all of DX, considering how crazy that was, so Cola OG could have been like that too. 5 Bottleman releases, for like the main ones, alright? 4 of which got recolors for remakes. Like Cola OG obviously didn't, but yeah. Cobalt Bottle G, you know, Bottle Wyvern G, Bottle Phoenix G, Bottle Sphinx G. And now with Spritening G, sure, you can argue it's a new motif or whatever, but who cares? It's just recycled parts yet again. I thought for sure November was going to be a new Bottleman. I said, okay, 4 or 5 mainline Bottlemen have remakes now. They can't really do that for Cola OG. November, it's gonna be something new, I'm very excited about it, and then they pulled this garbage. How? How do you mess up this bad with Bottleman releases? And here's the thing. I would shut up. I wouldn't be as upset about it if it was a one-off thing. Like, if we already had, 10 Godcap releases, we knew, like, a set in December was going to be, like, a new fusion or something. This is just, like, a weird extra release. I wouldn't be crazy about it, but I wouldn't be overly upset. My problem is that we only have 5 actual Bottleman for this year. Even go back to DX, because, yeah, late DX was just, like, the remakes in 2023. Like Dragogena and Valhas were the final real new ones, which were in December of last year, right? So 5 mainline Bottlemen this year. That's it. And because of that, and also we know that the set for December is just it's a recolor remake set, which sounds like a fucking joke, but it's just not. I can't believe that they're actually doing that. That's gonna be a video that I do for sure. That'll be fun. Not really, but it's gonna be something. But they really want to just give us recolors and that's it. Again, they don't want to give us anything. And it gets worse too, because like I said, look at the end of DX. It was just the remakes, right? Which I was fine with at the time, but when you factor in those as well for 2023, 5 mainline Bottlemen, alright, and 8, my bad, sorry. 8 recolor releases. The 4 remakes from Godcap, the 3 from DX, and Spritening G. Even if, by some miracle, the final single release for December and the random collection each come with something new, right? And we get to 7 actual Godcap Bottleman releases. There were still more recolors than new releases. And I'm not even factoring in like that really stupid recolor remakes that they're doing for December. I didn't even count that in this number here. It'd still be 8 to 7 with more recolors than actual new releases. That is garbage. What happened? It just gets so annoying. Like, what is Takatomi even doing at this point? First up, they completely botched Godcap entirely with equality control. These things, they suck to shoot. They just do. They're not fun to shoot. DX, they were very smooth, nice to shoot, had better power in my opinion overall. Like when you look at like the Kokuryo, like the power type arms, Colmar Energy DXs are just better. And yeah, I just feel like overall they were just better. they were smoother, which was better for, well, speed in my opinion, and somehow power as well, I guess, and I'd say control as well. Godcap has just been an overall downgrade. Yeah, sure, there's some nice things like, okay, the core split that allows us for more customization, but it's like one, I guess Godcaps themselves, okay, 2 steps forward, but like, okay, the cores are worse. The caps are molded horribly, so yeah, both those are molded badly. There's been more quality control problems overall, just with like the armor and stuff. And we also just had so many, just such a lack of releases. Like, we just keep taking steps back. Okay, you made 2 good decisions here, that's it. Nothing else. And it leaves us with garbage like this. Like Spritening G, I don't, like, when I look at this Bottleman, like, I look at it, right? Yeah, it looks fine. I like how it looks, like, I don't hate it, but it's the context that makes it bad. Again, a one-off weird release like this is just, again, it's weird, but whatever. But when this entire line has just been a bunch of recolors and nothing else, it pisses you off, because there's just nothing in this line. There's no substance. Like, Cola OG was insane. I was happy about that. But everything else, like the other 4, they're cool, but they're not, like, insane. The Godcap just had nothing to show. I don't get why they didn't just go to, like, July of this year, extend DX and just do those Bottleman, and, like, the 5 we got till July and there, that would have been a lot less frustrating, honestly, because now it's just like, okay, we have this bloated line that doesn't need to be nearly as big. I mean, just cut it off at, like, 5 releases, honestly, and call it a day there, but, yeah, it just becomes a problem. I hate that I have to rant every single video, and this time I'm, like, extra pissed off because this thing just sucks. Like, I don't know what Taco Tommy's doing. Like, they clearly stopped putting any effort into Bottleman. They botched Bottleman already a long time ago, and I feel like they've already ruined the chances of it ever being successful. But at this point, like, DX at least showed some promise, and I thought maybe DX would be the first real season, then they could follow it up. Maybe keep building on it. Maybe show that it's a solid line, and at least gets a fan base going. I think it was heading in a better direction with DX, but again, they ruined it with Godcap. I don't think there's going to be a 4th system, but if there is, and they pull another DX where they decide to make it actually good again, you've already kind of ruined the line entirely. And like, a lot of people have just dropped off this one. No one cares anymore. And that's why I think there isn't going to be a 4th line. Bottleman's just going to be dead in January with the final supposed release, right? And it's just annoying because it's just been really, really stupid missteps that I keep having to reiterate every Godcap video. Quality control and release schedule. It has completely botched this entire damn line. And it's just sad, because, again, last year I liked coming on here. I'd have nitpicks here and there about Bottleman. It was, whatever, but I could say, yeah, they were good products. With this, I can't say that. It's unfortunate that it's gotten to this point of every Godcat video turns into a rant, because it's just frustrating that there's just these 2 issues that they just cannot fix. Hell, even if we had a bunch of recolors, if they were at least good products, I could sit here and say this was a good release, If this was a, proper release, if the core and cap actually were good molds, like from the Vietnamese factory, I would say this is a good release, because you'd have a good multi-type core. That would have been a pretty big deal and a good reason to buy this, but because that's not the case, and it's still just the shitty Coke Rio-like one, then I'm just going to point you towards Red Arrow Cider, which was made much better and just works better. Yeah, it doesn't have the barrel port, but I'd much rather give that up than give up the quality of the core itself. So, Godcap's a mess. Spritening G as a Bottleman is fine, but we've had too many things where I just say that. Like, yeah, all the remakes I could say are just fine, but when you add it all together with the context surrounding everything, it just becomes a mess, and it's just frustrating to deal with. And my next video, when we get to the Team Guts set, or whatever it's called, it's not going to get any better, because, yeah, that's just going to be another problem of a release, and I don't know what I'm talking about that, probably not till next year, honestly. I'm probably just going to wait to pair that with the late December releases, so we'll see what happens, but yeah, that one won't be a fun video. Let's just hold out some hope that maybe the end of December picks things up a little bit. At least give us something new, at least like the single release, because if it's another Spritening G type of thing, I'm going to... Oh boy, that's going to be a video right there. If you thought this one was me being pissed off, yeah, that one's going to be a lot worse, because if we get something like this again, it's just like, yeah, they clearly have just given up entirely. They probably maybe had some other ideas and just scrapped them and said, yeah, we already have these releases scheduled, let's just throw out recolors, just try and see what else we could, make off the series before we just end it in January. And that's what I think is going to happen. And as much as I don't want to, I do think those are just going to be recolors, and I don't think we're ever going to see anything actually new come out of this franchise again, which sucks to say, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, honestly, but we'll see. Time will tell. In about a week from now, we will get the Korokoro, and we'll be able to see all the new stuff. So again, hopefully, I really, really hope for the sake of Bottleman, the fans, and my own personal sanity, that it is actually interesting. So anyways, that's all for this video. Sorry about, again, another long Bottleman rant. I know it's getting tiresome at this point, but it's just frustrating with the God Cap. Like, I could just stop collecting it at the same time. It's just so far in, I think it's about to be done. I might as well just keep going until it finishes off, and at least, hey, I could tell other people to avoid some of these things, if nothing else. I guess that's one upside of doing this. So anyway, that's all for this video. Again, sorry for the long rant, but anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.